somebody's mad. Somebody's angry. Ladies and gentlemen, Artur Beterbiev, the former light heavyweight undisputed, exposing Turki Alalshikh and Dmitry Bivol for stalling on the trilogy. He don't even know when the trilogy is going to take place. Huh? And y'all already know that we were supposed to get, before this trilogy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like the first two fights. It was highly competitive. It could have gone either way, both fights, right? But we had the opportunity to get Dmitry Bivol versus Beterbiev and Turki Alalshikh. We already know strategically sabotage Dmitry Bivol going to PBC and securing the fight with David Benavidez, as David Benavidez was the #1 mandatory challenger for whoever was going to win from Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. And y'all already know Turki Alalshikh. I don't know, Dmitry Bivol, you would not go to the PBC and do the business with Al Heyman. I don't even know who Al Heyman. I don't even know how he looks like. The only know that I know about Al Heyman is like, if I Google the pictures for the 15 and 20 years ago. I seen Bigfoot more than I seen Al Heyman. I seen Jesus Christ more than I seen Al Heyman. Well, I don't even know how he looks like. But anyway, we all know Turki Alalshikh has done good for the most part, but he's getting in the way of certain fights. But Artur Beterbiev went to his IG and exposed the situation. So let's read what Artur Beterbiev had to type down. Because for real, man, Artur Beterbiev is a constant professional. You know what I'm saying? It's a fight that, of course, a lot of people still want to see, but it was another opportunity for that. Forget about the Anthony Yarde fight. Let's just see David Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev. How about that? Since there's an unknown situation with Dmitry Bivol fighting Bivol in the trilogy, and we all know that Artur Beterbiev ain't getting no damn younger. So let's read on. Y'all already know. Smash that like button. You're not tuning into Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Mo Shot himself. All right, let's read on. After receiving hundreds of questions about the third battle, I decided to share the situation here. As you may know, the first fight for the title of absolute champion took place in October last year. Y'all already know it took a lot of time because the WBC was discriminating against the Russians. Let's not forget about that, right? Anyway, let's keep on reading. After 5 years of attempts on our part to unite the belts, it still happened. The day after the first fight, we agreed on a rematch that was supposed to take place for 4 months. Even though I was still recovering from surgery and my coach and doctor were absolutely opposed to such an early rematch, after the second fight, I immediately showed interest in a third fight soon. And at first, there were rumors about the fight in August. But my opponent said in an interview that he wanted to hold it at the end of the fall, then at the end of the year. And now it's unknown when we are going to fight. And we all know that Artur Beterbiev ain't getting no damn younger. He is 39, probably 40 years old right now. And I'm not saying that age is nothing but a number, because we've seen great fighters at this age, like Alexander Usyk is 39 years old, and he's the pound for pound #1. All right? He ain't #2, he #3. I don't want to hear nothing like, oh, no, it's Buck Crawford. Alexander Usyk is #1. So, and he even said in the end of that post, he said, how old do I have to be so that we can fight for the third time? I said to Artur Beterbiev, push Turki Alalshikh. If Turki Alalshikh is trying to protect Dmitry Bivol and stuff like that, or try to protect this trilogy because he doesn't want to see Artur Beterbiev or Bivol do something greater than what they're doing, because let's be real, let's be honest. The last crescendo, they're 45K pay-per-view buys in America. It was supposed to be the best card in the history of boxing. That flopped. The fight didn't flop, but the event and the magnitude of what the event was supposed to be flopped. And they know, Turki Alalshikh knows, that if Dmitry Bivol would have done business with David Benavidez for Mexican Independence Day, let me tell you like this, I think more people would have been more intrigued with that fight. The hardcores would have been more intrigued with David Benavidez versus Dmitry Bivol than Canelo Alvarez versus Buck Crawford, even if you put it in the same day. As a matter of fact, Dmitry Bivol ain't ready to fight. So the two most devastating punches of this era, two of the most dynamic punchers of this era, David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, the Ecuadorian monster, the Dominican monster. Yes, his mother is half Ecuadorian, half Dominican and stuff like that. Versus Artur Beterbiev. Because at the end of the day, people still have Artur Beterbiev winning the last fight. Like, again, it could have gone either way, both fights. So we still look at Artur Beterbiev. We don't drop him from the pound for pound list. He's still a pound for pound fighter. He's still a dangerous fighter. He's still looked upon as a champion in his own right. Artur Beterbiev versus David Benavidez is probably more dynamic than Bivol and Benavidez because of the power and the aura that they bring inside that ring and the approach that they go by things, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I said that David Benavidez is going to be, of course, David Benavidez is looked upon. I mean, not looked upon, but has finalized a deal to fight Anthony Yarde. And I said that David Benavidez is going to do what Beterbiev did to Anthony Yarde. You know what I'm saying? I think David Benavidez is going to whoop Anthony Yarde's ass. I know that Anthony Yarde is a competitive fighter, but I think that David Benavidez will be just too much. And now David Benavidez is in his prime. Now David Benavidez is all, dedicated to this craft, to his profession. And look, this is not to shame. Also, that Artur Beterbiev needs to fight David Benavidez, even though that Artur Beterbiev now is in mandatory position through the WBC, right? But you can't shame. I don't want this to be a shame. I think there's a great fight, and I think a lot of people should be talking about the possibility of David Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev, right? I think it would just be just as a good win, right? Because I think it would just be just as good, right? The trilogy, it could be a good fight, but let's not forget, it's not going to be for undisputed because they already stripped Dmitry Bivol for not fighting David Benavidez. Artur Beterbiev could in the meantime, Artur Beterbiev could fight David Benavidez, and he could try to get that belt back, almost like what Canelo Alvarez did with the William Skull fight, right? Try to get his belt back. All right, so Beterbiev could try to get his belt back with David Benavidez, and then the trilogy could be for the undisputed the way it's supposed to naturally be. Right? But you can't shame Artur Beterbiev but not for fighting David Benavidez. You know why? Because let's not forget that when David Benavidez got stripped in the 168-pound division, the second time that he got stripped for eating Butterfingers and Twix, Snicker bars, too much ice cream, too much burritos and stuff like that, the WBC ranked him as the #1 mandatory position through the WBC for Artur Beterbiev, and then Samson Wiki sent a letter to the WBC requesting them to re-rank David Benavidez in the 168-pound division as they pursue Canelo Alvarez. See, let's be honest. David Benavidez had the opportunity to become a 175-pound champion a long time ago. He was not in his prime. Probably his team was not prepared for that type of challenge. But now I think it's a great fight, great timing for that fight. I wish the news would have came way earlier so David Benavidez would never secure the Anthony Yarde fight. And I know that Turki Alalshikh knew everything about the situation beforehand. All right? So I think that Turki Alalshikh should promise Anthony Yarde something different in Riha season, pay him the same money that he was going to give him David Benavidez, and give David Benavidez the Artur Beterbiev fight in that Riha season card. My goodness, it'll be spectacular. Or maybe have it in America. You know what I'm saying? You will have probably David Benavidez versus Beterbiev, right? What was it? You could put that in October over here in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? October is good, and put any other undercard. It'll be great. But I think that would be a better fight and get Anthony Yarde another good fight. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think, man. This is Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshot himself. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Love you. God bless. And on to the next.